Hey everyone, welcome to Data Millennials. I am Atul, and in this video we are going to discuss how we can apply or use log function using calculated field in Looker or Google Data Studio. So as you can see here in my raw data, I have region 1 sales in USD millions and region 1 cost in USD millions. But what if I need to show these unit price as logarithmic of sale and cost price with base 2 in my graph or in a Looker table? Then how can I show it? So in this video we will create this table, and then we are going to apply or use the log function as a calculated field in our table or in the chart from scratch, so that you can have the idea that when, where, or how we can apply the log function using the calculated field. And before we use this function, let's understand the log function. So log is a type of arithmetic function in Looker which returns the logarithmic of a positive number with base 2. So as you can see here, I have the syntax of the function which says log and x. So this x is a parameter which is basically a field or an expression that should contain at least one column or a field. So now let's go and create a calculated field using the log in our table as well as in our chart. So we will be replicating this table first, and then we'll replicate this chart, right? So in order to replicate it, or to show you how we can use the log function in a calculated field, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on this edit button first, and then I'm going to add a page. After adding this page, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy these headers and I'm going to put it over here. Okay, so let me increase the size of this. Okay, now first we are going to create a table where we will compare the normal value versus the log value. So what we are going to do is that we are going to take this region 1 cost in USD millions and will convert it into log base 2, right? In order to do that, we need to include a table. So in order to add a table, we'll go on add a chart button, and then we'll click on this table button and we'll put it over here, and we'll increase the size or width of this table. Then you will see that you will have by default certain values over here, which Looker will take a data source as a default data source for this report. You can change the data source from here. Under this setup section you have data source, and you can change it from here, but for me I'll use the same data source as I have over here in my Google Sheet. So I'm going to keep this data source, but I'm going to remove the dimension. So after removing this dimension, what I need to do is that I need to select my dimension first. So for me, the first dimension will be date, because I want to show date wise the normal value of this region 1 cost in USD millions, and then I'll convert it to log base 2. And in my metric, I'm going to remove this record count. Then I'll click on add metric, and I can select any of these from here, but I just prefer to select or drag from here, right? So I'm going to take region 1 cost in USD millions and put it over here in my metric. So now you can see over here that I have date, and I have a column which says region 1 cost in USD millions. So we'll style this table also as we have over here, right? But let me first show you how we can create the calculated field. In order to create a calculated field, we have to select this table, and then we'll click on this add metric, and we need to click on create a field. Within this create a field section, the first option that Looker will ask us to name the output column, right? So I'm just going to copy this column header from here in millions, and I'll put it over here, and then I'll add underscore log. Okay, and then I'm supposed to put a formula over here. So the formula will be log. The moment you will start writing log, you will see that you have two options, log and log 10. So we are describing about log over here. In our next video we'll be discussing about log 10. So I'll select log, Within this bracket, we have to give the input value. For us, the input value will be region 1 cost in USD millions, because we want to convert this column values into log base 2. So we'll put region 1 cost in USD millions, right? And then we are gonna click on apply. The moment you will click on apply, you will see that you have a new field or column over here which says region 1 cost in USD millions underscore log, and you will see that this column has been converted into the log values, and this output value basically returns the log of a positive number with base 2. Now if I come to style, I can increase the size of this column values. So from here I'll select 16 pixel, and you will see that the size of the text has increased, right? Now we need to include a chart which we had over here, right? And in this chart we are gonna show two calculated fields, and those two fields will be this region 1 cost in USD millions as well as region 1 sales in USD millions, so that we can compare the sales versus cost, right? To add this graph, what we'll do is that we'll click on add a chart, and then I will select this time series chart. So I'll select this and I'll put it over here, and I'm gonna select the dimension as date, but by default Looker has already selected date because we had selected time series, so it has selected date. Now for my metric, as you can see, by default it has selected region 1 cost in USD millions. If you want to change it, you can click over here and select any of the fields from here, but for me I need to show this region 1 cost USD million, and by default it has selected it region 1 cost in USD million, so I'll keep it as it is. Then I will select region 1 sales in USD millions. So as you can see, this graph is showing the values that we had in our raw data over here. Now what we need to do is that we need to change these raw data values into logged base 2, right? So what we can do is that we can remove these two over here, and we can add a calculated field. To add a calculated field, what we need to do is that we need to click on add metric, and then we need to click on create a field over here. I'll just copy this column name and put it over here, underscore log, and then I'll say log, and I'll put the field name over here, and I'll click on apply. So the moment you'll click on apply, you will see that you have a new calculated field over here. I'll remove the previous field. So you have a calculated field here which says region 1 cost in USD million log, which is here, right? It's not like reflecting which I have over here in my graph, the values and the data point, but we'll change it similar to this graph. So the second field that we need over here for comparison is the sales, right? So again, we'll take that sales value and put it into a calculated field to change the values of the sales, which is over here, into log base 2. So we'll click on add a metric, create a field, we'll copy this header, put it over here, underscore log, then we're gonna put the log here as a function. We'll select this log function and put the field over here, region 1 sales in USD millions, and then we'll click on apply. The moment you will click on apply, then it will change this field into log base 2 and reflect it into your graph. So this is the way basically you can use a calculated field values into a graph. Now what we need to do is that we need to show some data points in this graph, right? So I'm gonna click on style, and the first thing that I'm gonna see is that series 1, which was my region 1 sales in USD million, cost in USD millions log. So I'll keep it as line, and I'll keep the line weight as 4. Then I'm gonna change the color. So my color for cost will be in red, and then I'm going to click on show points and show data labels. Then I'm going to go in this series 2. We have line. We'll select the line weight as 4. Then we are going to click on show points, show data label, and we're going to change this color to black. And now if I compare this visual with my previous visual which I had shown in the starting of my video, then you can see it looks similar, right? So this is how basically you can create calculated field with the log function to return log of a positive number with base 2 in Looker or in Google Data Studio. Happy learning and see you in the next video.